The last human standing. Commander Alex Reeves stood at the viewport of the survey vessel Horizon, watching as the small ship's sensors picked up the aftermath of destruction. The colony of New Terra was gone. Nothing remained but smoking craters and twisted metal. This marked the 7th human settlement wiped from existence in the past month. Ship's log. Commander Reeves recording. Date. Standard Galactic date 3472. I've arrived at New Terra to find nothing. Just like the others. Alex's voice caught. No survivors detected. Adding to confirmed casualties, approximately 12,000 colonists. Alex had been on a deep space mapping mission when the attacks began. Communications from Earth had stopped, followed by silence from every major colony. The mission clock showed 3 months since the last human transmission had reached the horizon. Running a hand through short, dark hair, Alex scanned the tactical display. The ship's AI indicated no immediate threats, but it hardly mattered now. The grief and anger that had been building for weeks had transformed into a cold, focused rage. Some alien force had systematically erased humanity from the stars, and Alex Reeves might be the last human alive. The ship's sensors suddenly pinged, detecting a faint signal from the surface. Without hesitation, Alex launched a shuttle and descended through New Terra's atmosphere. Landing among the ruins of what had been the colony's administrative center, the commander moved cautiously, pulse rifle ready. The signal led to a partially intact data center beneath the rubble. Alex cleared debris and found a terminal still drawing emergency power. The screen flickered to life as gloved fingers moved across the interface. "Show me what happened here," Alex whispered. The footage was brief but devastating. Massive ships had appeared in orbit, sleek, organic vessels unlike anything in known space. The attack had been methodical and without warning. Before the recording cut out, a transmission had been received from the attackers, identifying themselves as the Collective. "We cleansed the infection of humanity from the galaxy. Your adaptability and aggression pose an unacceptable risk to galactic harmony. The Council has determined your species cannot be contained or controlled. Therefore, extinction is necessary." Alex's hands trembled as the message ended. Not random attacks, genocide. Planned, coordinated, executed with cold efficiency. Further fragments of data revealed more. The Collective, a confederation of 17 advanced species, had been watching humanity for decades. They feared human ingenuity, our unpredictability, our tenacity. Most of all, they feared how quickly humans adapted their technology. The Collective Council had voted. Humanity presented an existential threat and could not be allowed to spread further among the stars. Back aboard the Horizon, Alex opened a storage locker that hadn't been touched since the mission began. Inside was a neural interface, experimental technology Alex had been authorized to test in deep space. Military intelligence had called it Nexus, an adaptive AI system designed to interface directly with a human brain, enhancing cognitive functions and allowing unprecedented control over compatible systems. The implantation was painful. Alex performed it without anesthesia, using the medical bay's automated surgical suite. The Nexus spread through neural pathways like liquid fire, bonding with Alex's nervous system. For hours, the commander lay writhing as the technology integrated, unlocking human potential the Collective had so deeply feared. When Alex finally stood, something had changed. The ship's systems connected directly to thought commands. Information from sensors flowed directly into awareness. The Horizon had become an extension of Alex's body, human and machine working as one. They were right to fear us, Alex whispered to the empty bridge. And they should have killed us all. The next 3 months passed in a blur of activity. Alex modified the Horizon beyond its original specifications, adding stealth capabilities and weapon systems salvaged from abandoned military outposts. The ship's reactor was pushed beyond safety limits, the extra power channeled into experimental systems that should never have worked but somehow did under Alex's touch. The Nexus continued to evolve, adapting to Alex's brain patterns. Soon it could interface with any compatible technology, including systems designed by the collective. Their greatest advantage was that they believed their mission complete. They never expected to have missed even one human. They certainly never expected the human to come hunting for them. The first collective outpost Alex found was on the edge of what had been human space, a monitoring station manned by a species of tall insectoid beings with iridescent carapaces. The horizon slipped past their sensors, appearing as nothing more than background radiation. Alex boarded the station wearing a modified EVA suit. The Nexus interfaced with the station's systems instantly, giving complete access to security, life support, and communications. The aliens never knew they were under attack until their atmosphere began venting into space. As the station's crew panicked, Alex downloaded everything: patrol routes, fleet positions, communication protocols. Most crucially, the location of the nearest collective shipyard. Before leaving, Alex left the station intact, but sent a message on all collective frequencies, using their own encryption. You missed one. Humanity isn't extinct. And now I'm coming for all of you. The next target was the shipyard, a massive orbital facility around a gas giant, where the collective built and maintained its warships. The horizon approached silently, powered down to minimal systems. Alex didn't need to attack directly. The Nexus reached out, infiltrating the shipyard's mainframe with ease. Fuel mixtures were adjusted in minute ways. Navigation systems recalibrated by fractions of degrees. Safety protocols modified so subtly no one would notice until it was too late. Alex watched from a safe distance as the sabotage took effect over the following days. 3 warships exploded during engine tests. A dreadnought's navigation failed during a test flight, sending it plummeting into the gas giant. The shipyard's reactor containment mysteriously failed, taking the entire facility with it. Again, Alex broadcast on collective frequencies. Your extinction protocol has failed. One human is enough to end you all. The pattern continued for months. Alex struck without warning, without mercy. The Nexus grew more sophisticated with each encounter, learning from collective technology, adapting their own advancements against them. The horizon was no longer recognizable as a human vessel, transformed into something new, a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology. Reports spread through collective space of the ghost of humanity, a phantom that could not be tracked, could not be stopped, appearing anywhere to wreak havoc before vanishing again. Some said it was a human spirit seeking vengeance. Others believed it was an automated weapon system, the last legacy of a dead civilization. None suspected it was simply one human with nothing left to lose. On a frozen moon orbiting a dead star, Alex found something unexpected. A collective research facility studying human artifacts. Inside were treasures salvaged from Earth itself before its destruction. Art, literature, technology. The aliens were trying to understand what they had destroyed, perhaps seeking weaknesses should any human remnant remain. Among the artifacts, Alex found a stasis pod containing something impossible. A living human child, no more than 6 years old, preserved in suspended animation. The facility's records identified her as Ilara Chen, daughter of scientists from the Luna colonies, captured before Earth's destruction for study. For the first time since beginning this one-person war, Alex Reeves wept. The child was alive. Proof that Alex was not alone. Carefully transferring the stasis pod to the horizon, Alex made a silent promise. The war would continue, but now with a purpose beyond vengeance. Somewhere, there might be other survivors. They needed to be found, protected, given a future. The collective had failed in their extinction protocol, and their failure would cost them everything. Vengeance across the stars. The name Reeves had become a curse word among the 17 species of the collective. In the 2 years since the first attack on the monitoring station, the humans' campaign of terror had escalated beyond anything they could have predicted. Collective warships refused to travel alone. Colonies demanded increased security. The economy of their vast civilization began to falter under the strain. In the council chambers on Ixera Prime, the ruling body of the collective gathered in emergency session. The massive amphitheater hosted representatives of all 17 species, each more agitated than the last. This single human has destroyed 37 critical facilities, disabled or destroyed 22 capital ships, and compromised our communications to the point where we cannot trust our own encryption, declared Virillion, a massive entity composed of crystalline structures that refracted light as it moved. The extinction protocol has failed catastrophically. One human cannot achieve all this, countered Nextra, a being of pure energy contained within an elaborate mechanical shell. There must be more survivors. A coordinated resistance. High Counselor Faxos, eldest of the arthropoid Mithraxi and leader of the council, raised a serrated limb for silence. Our intelligence indicates it is indeed one human, somehow enhanced beyond our models of their capabilities. The vessel identified as the Horizon appears to be evolving, integrating technologies from each civilization it encounters. Then we must commit our full forces to destroying this last human, hissed Skaran, representative of the reptilian Navic Confederacy. Gather the Grand Fleet. The Grand Fleet cannot find what our best sensors cannot detect. Thaxos replied. We need a different approach. We must lure Reeves into a trap. Aboard the Horizon, now so transformed it resembled a predatory creature more than a ship, Alex Reeves monitored the collective's communications. The Nexus had evolved far beyond its original design, becoming a true symbiotic entity that enhanced Alex's consciousness while maintaining human emotions and drives. The ship itself had become an extension of will and thought, responding instantly to neural commands. In a protected chamber at the heart of the vessel, Ilara Chen was no longer in stasis. The 6-year-old girl had awakened to a universe where her species was nearly extinct, with only Commander Reeves to guide her. Rather than shield her from truth, Alex had explained everything: how the collective had deemed humanity too dangerous to exist, how they had systematically destroyed Earth and all its colonies. Are there others like us? Ilara asked, her small face solemn beyond her years, as she sat cross-legged on her bed. I believe so, Alex replied, kneeling to meet her eyes. The collective is vast, but they're not infallible. If they missed us, they might have missed others. I've been sending encrypted broadcasts on old human frequencies. If anyone's listening, they'll find us. And while we wait, we fight, Ilara said with the simple clarity of a child. Alex nodded. We fight. We make them regret what they've done. And we make sure they can never do it again. The Nexus suddenly flared in Alex's consciousness, a priority alert. The collective was broadcasting on an open channel, using an old human frequency. They were practically shouting into the void. They're baiting us, Alex murmured, watching the transmission decode. They claim to have human survivors in a research facility on Delara IV. Is it a trap? Ilara asked, already knowing the answer. Of course it's a trap. Alex smiled grimly. But traps work both ways. If they're desperate enough to try this, they're getting careless, and careless enemies make mistakes. The Horizon changed course, heading toward Delara IV, a heavily industrialized world controlled by the silicon-based Oradians. Approaching the system, Alex detected the ambush waiting in the asteroid belt. 9 collective warships powered down to avoid detection. Let's give them what they expect, Alex said to the empty bridge, knowing the Nexus would understand. The Horizon decloaked deliberately, allowing the collective sensors to detect its approach. As predicted, the warships powered up, moving to intercept. What they couldn't know was that Alex had arrived in the system 3 days earlier, using a scout drone to transmit the Horizon's signature, while the actual ship infiltrated Delara IV's atmosphere. While the collective fleet chased a ghost, Alex landed near the coordinates from the transmission. The research facility was heavily guarded, too heavily for a simple research outpost. Something valuable was indeed here. Using the Nexus to disable security systems, Alex infiltrated the complex. The inner chambers revealed the truth. Not human survivors, but something potentially more valuable. A complete genome bank containing DNA samples from thousands of humans, preserved before the extinction protocol began. They were studying us even as they planned to destroy us, Alex whispered, securing the samples. Trying to understand what made us so dangerous. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. In orbit, the collective warships had realized their error and were returning at maximum speed. Alex had minutes at most before orbital bombardment would begin. The Nexus connected with the facility's mainframe, downloading all research data while Alex prepared the samples for transport. A heavily armed security team converged on the laboratory, forcing Alex into a firefight through the corridors. The neural interface gave superhuman reaction time, allowing Alex to outmaneuver opponents who had never faced a human in combat. Reaching the horizon as the first collective warships entered orbit, Alex launched with the precious cargo. The ship's enhanced drives flared blue-white, accelerating faster than any collective vessel could match. Behind them, Dallara IV receded into the darkness. Reeves. The communication channel crackled with rage. On the view screen appeared High Counselor Thaxos himself, mandibles clicking in agitation. You cannot win this war alone. You are the last of a dead species. That's where you're wrong, Alex replied calmly. I'm not alone anymore. As if on cue, space rippled around the horizon. 3 ships of unfamiliar design cloaked, sleek vessels with distinctive human aesthetics, but advanced beyond anything Earth had created before its fall. This is Captain Maya Okereke of the Resistance vessel Phoenix, came a new voice over the channel. Commander Reeves, we've been looking for you for a long time. The horizon and its new allies vanished into FTL before the stunned collective could respond. Hours later, in a hidden star system never charted by the collective, Alex stood in a chamber that seemed impossible, a room filled with humans. Over 200 survivors from various colonies had found each other, building a hidden base within an asteroid hollowed out and equipped with technology salvaged and improved upon. Captain Okereke, a tall woman with close-cropped hair and eyes that had seen too much suffering, embraced Alex. When we started receiving your messages, we couldn't believe it. One human waging war against the entire collective. You've become a legend. A legend won't bring back Earth, Alex replied. But perhaps we can still have a future. The genome bank from Dallara IV proved invaluable. With it, and the technology they had developed in hiding, the human resistance could potentially grow their numbers again. They had survived, adapted, and evolved, just as the collective had feared they would. In the months that followed, the human resistance transformed from surviving to thriving. With Alex's Nexus technology shared among their best fighters, they struck at collective targets with devastating effectiveness. The 17 species that had thought humanity extinct now faced their worst nightmare. Humans with nothing left to lose but their extinction. On the bridge of the Phoenix, now the flagship of the growing human fleet, Alex stood with Ilara beside Captain Okereke, watching as their ships prepared for their most ambitious attack yet. A direct assault on Ixera Prime, the collective's central world. Are we really going to destroy their homeworld? Ilara asked, her voice steady despite her youth. Make them extinct like they tried to make us. Alex knelt before her, placing hands on her small shoulders. No, we're not like them. We're going to show them why their fear was misplaced. Humans don't just destroy. We create, we adapt, we forgive. Sometimes, but we never forget. The fleet jumped to FTL, heading for the heart of the collective. Not for final vengeance, but to force a new beginning. A galaxy where humanity would have its place among the stars, whether the collective approved or not. As the stars streaked past the viewports, Alex Reeves, once the last human, now the first of a new chapter for the species, allowed hope to replace rage. The collective had created their own worst nightmare by leaving one human alive with nothing to lose. Now they would face something even more terrifying. humans with everything to gain. The galaxy would never be the same again.